Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am super happy and happy Monday. Welcome to my live stream on Facebook. My name is Jimmy Cheng. I am a professional photographer, filmmaker, and an Olympus ambassador. If you're new here, this live stream is all about photography, filmmaking, and of course, all your Micro Four Thirds gears. More specifically, Olympus. Right, welcome, and yeah, as I said, if you are very brand new and you don't know, how we usually run this live stream, let me give you a hint because we do have a schedule to follow every single day. Well, when I say every single day, my live stream runs between Monday to Friday, 11 to 11:30 a.m. GMT London time. So this is the kind of general structure that we usually follow. First of all, I will have a general update about myself and my family and everything else because this live stream is public, so everybody in the globe, entire universe can watch this. So I might as well utilize this opportunity to let my friends and family around the world, know that we are doing just fine. Yeah, because London's still under lockdown at the moment, and we shall see what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks because I have something to tell you in a minute. But after that, we're going to have a topic of the day. Today is a rather more generic, but I will just have a conversation here. What have you learned since the lockdown? And finally, it's Q&A. Of course, you can ask me anything relating to photography, filmmaking, and your camera stuff and setting, kind of thing regarding to more specific Olympus, because I use Olympus gears exclusively, not so much of a Panasonic, but more or less they have the similar kind of features and stuff like that, so I could maybe take you down the road. Okay, let's go to, good morning Trevor, good morning Burana, and it's very windy here in London as well, and since yesterday, to be honest, it's really, really windy, almost like a storm coming in again. So general update. Well, for those who are not in the UK, and we're just letting you some sort of update that the Prime Minister has made a speech yesterday night and about the plan, how are we going to come out of this lockdown thing? But it's not going to happen overnight, so we're going to have like a gradual thing going on. As of this Wednesday, we will be able to go out, exercise as much as we want, and we will be able to drive out. Previously we are only restricted to local areas and we are not allowed to drive to somewhere for recreational or exercising purposes, but now you can. And you can also meet your friend. It's a bit vague, but one person to another person, different household, but you have to keep the distancing of 2 meters. But I think a lot of clarifications still need to be made. But anyway, and we shall see what's going to happen. And there's still a lot of things. They said if you can't work from home, they do actively encourage you to go to work. But hopefully you're not taking any public transport. And yeah, but anyway, you can read all about it on the news sections. But yeah, it's still all these things that they list out is not quite clear, and then a lot of people may not be able to drive. They don't have a car. They encourage you to cycle as well, but with people who are living further away, they usually relying on public transport to get into the city. Just a lot of things going on, but okay, I'll let the government sort it out. And because at the moment, technically I can actually go out to work because I can't usually, if I'm a photographer, I have to photograph my client outside my house, and that means that I can technically go out because I can't do it at home. So and I can't invite them over either. So this is something that I think I should be able to do, but I don't think I'm going to have any job anytime soon, and that's the reality. And so we just have to see what happens and how things are going to develop over the next couple of weeks. And Gunston, good morning. It's evening here, so okay, wow, okay, awesome. So rain in Bangkok, wow. I know in Asia now it's very hot now because I called my dad yesterday or the day before now. There was 34 degrees apparently, and that is really hot over there, and humid as well. And Bangkok, I've been Bangkok once, and I know how hot it is and how humid it can be. So hope you guys are okay. How was your weekend? In the UK we had a bank holiday weekend last Friday, so we had like 3 days off. In fact, I kind of went into a digital detox, and so after my last live stream last Friday, I didn't do anything at all, and I kind of rested Friday, Saturday, kind of half day Sunday, and kind of went onto social media a little bit, and then just to post some quick pictures and things, and get ready for today, more or less, and get on to some emails replying, and because some of the people that I work with, and they're just like myself, I don't usually rest, so I still receive emails over the weekend, and I have to check and reply them because I don't want to delay anything. But it's cool, and that's the life being a self-employed, I guess, and you're being your own boss, you don't really rest as such. Okay, so let's get on to Lockdown, right. So what have you learned since lockdown? Barana had actually says something here. Like, okay, let's bring it up. Okay, learn more about bird photography. Always up to the roof. You know what? I did exactly the same thing. I mean, not that I don't usually photograph, but if you watch my channel, you know that I love pigeons. Actually, I love anything with feathers, and so I like to shoot birds, but not like a bird photography. You know, I just like to photograph them just because I think they are kind of cute, and then they have these fluffy feathers, you know, and especially smaller birds. And so I did exactly the same thing because, you know, while I was stuck at home, you know, all I do is just sometimes just look out in the backyard to see if there are any birds flying around, and I did capture some. I showed you a couple last time, the little robin that always came by, and I think I showed you some last week as well, which when I was let me just get rid of this title thing here, and I take a picture of, you know, a couple of pictures of these birds here, and just bring it down here a little bit. So, you know, when I was walking around the lake with the family, and I had my camera, the EM1 Mark III, and the 40-150 2.8 with the MC14 teleconverter. So I have a very long lens in a relatively compact package. So I just went out there and photographed birds, and yeah, I actually got some. I mean, I personally think it's all right. You know, it's not masterpiece. You know, it's not the thing in actions or in flight kind of thing. You know, but you know, like I said, I just like to photograph them, and I get this is something I kind of enjoy doing. And since I can't shoot any model, I might as well shoot something that is alive, still moving. So I have another one as well. I kind of like this one, and it shows. You know, the MC14 with the 40-150 can actually perform very well. I was having continuous AF all the way, and I didn't actually use single AF at all. Everything is CAF, as you can see here. You have blow it up just a little bit bigger, and then you will see what I mean. You know, this thing is super sharp. Just look at the details in the feather. You know, it's really stunning, and I like the quality of the optics, and I think the MC14 works as a treat with the 40-150. It doesn't really degrade the performance as such. Usually when you attach a teleconverter into a long zoom, the AF speed and also the optical quality will suffer a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, all teleconverter will do it, so including MC14 and the MC20, but the MC14 works really well with the 40-150, and you won't really notice that much of degradations in terms of image quality and in terms of AF speed. I find it okay. It's tracking perfectly fine. And also, another one as well. This was actually wasn't even moving, and it was just standing there. So I took this shot that I think is pretty once again, you know, just to satisfy my trigger finger. I was so bored, you know, like I haven't photographed anything for a while, and so I was really keen, you know. Whenever I see something moving, I just like, yes, I did use continuous drive, continuous framing, low speed, and so I didn't do high speed because otherwise I'll end up with about 2,000 photos when I go home. So that was pretty fun. So I hope you guys did the same thing. And right, and Trevor, okay, yes. Trevor, you have been trying to learn video editing software. I haven't quite finished watching a video. I've started it, and you did a great job in the beginning. I love it. And then you did these kind of like trail path kind of thing. It's really cool. I like that. I haven't quite finished everything yet, and this is quite long though. It did about 18 minutes or 15 minutes. It's a relatively long video, so give me some time. I'll digest it, and I'll give you some pointers after, maybe tomorrow, and I'll give you some pointers. And yeah, you know, when I first started videoing, you know, I almost did the same thing as you, and I was filming lots of stuff and trying to piece them together, but what you're doing is exactly right. You know, you're trying to learn your software. I'll tell you a little bit more about editing, maybe in details in the upcoming streams in the next few days. You know, like how to trim the videos a little bit down, you know, to make it a little bit shorter, more concise, and you can pass the point over. To be quite honest, you know, you probably got enough footage to make a really good, you know, 3 to 4 minutes long video. You know, in video terms, it's actually very long to a process. You know, you film literally like hours and hours, and eventually all you can produce is a few minutes worth of footage. And I'm not joking. I recently finished a project for Olympus, and hopefully you'll see it very, very soon, because they will be broadcasting it. And that video, it took me days to film, just to film, not anything, just to film. And the different parts, and then all around Hong Kong when I was there, and everything. At the end of the day, I just shrinking down to, like, I don't know, 5 minutes. Amazing, right? And it's something that you have to imagine. Why movies is always so expensive to produce. Imagine that all these Hollywood blockbusters films. That's why they spend like a year and a half, maybe 2 years to film, just to film everything. And then and at the end of the day, you just enjoy for about 2 hours. That's the scale I'm talking about. So filmmaking, like making movies, is so much harder than actually photographing a series of photos. I'm not suggesting, I can't really compare, because they're very, very different industry. But in terms of time and the logistic, the manpower behind it is so different. Photography can be a very solo thing, you can just go ahead out and take your camera. You could just do something with, by yourself, right? But in filming, that's why you see this credit, extremely long credit. It usually lasts about 15 minutes at the end of the movie, yeah? And you can see the amount of people actually involved in everything. It's just nuts, right? And do I keep all the cut footage? That's what Trevor Chan has asked. And yes, I do keep all the cut footage, and actually all the original clips, I do keep them on a separate hard drive, because I may need to reuse them at some point. But some of the really bad video stuff, I would just delete. I only keep the one I think is worth keeping for future references or something like that. But otherwise, you're going to end up like with tons and tons of footage, especially if you shoot 4K. You would need like a massive storage. I'm not joking. You will keep buying them. I already keep buying hard drive, for the last 2 years. It's just like every time I buy one, it's like 5 terabyte, 8 terabyte. It's like, it's crazy. And right, Brad, good morning, Brad. Let's see, I learned so much about EM5 Mark III by honing my garden bird photography. Nice, well done. Came from a Nikon APS-C late December and went directly abroad for 2 months and didn't have a chance to learn camera, but so much better now. Excellent stuff. Well, glad that you're finally doing something with your new EM5 Mark III, I presume. Let me just shrink it down a little bit. I'm just trying to make it a little bit more manageable on the screen. I'm just trying to arrange something at the moment. So, okay, there you go. That's the section. Right, excellent. That's well done, And so how do you find with your EM5 Mark III compared to your Nikon APS-C cameras? And I guarantee the size will be the first thing, isn't it? The EM5 is such a tiny camera, but it's very capable, especially AF, right? The AF is actually really, really fantastic, and tracking is phenomenal, because now it has hybrid, both face detect and contrast detect AF. And when you turn the CAF, if you do it in a 3x3 grid, it is actually very, very good on tracking moving subjects. It's fantastic. Right, Brad also said something here. Let me just say, now finding a limit on... Right, okay. Right, okay, 12 to 200 for... These are really good lens, but it's a very long lens. And, okay, use the more sharpness. Yeah, I mean, I have to tell you, unless you go for the pro grey lenses, oh, goodbye, Barana, you have to go. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow again. Yes, and so the 12 to 200 is really good lens, but I wouldn't say it's to the pro level, especially to the extreme tele end of any of the lenses. They usually do suffer in some sort of softness, and that is by design. If you look at a lot of the like even Pro Grays, 7200 in full frames, your Nikon, Canon, and all the others, you will find that the tele ends, if you look at all the lens charts by other DP reviews or any other people, you will find that the numbers on the tele ends always a lot lower than the wider ends, because it's actually more to do with the perceived sharpness. But it's actually true, because the tele ends usually is softer. It's just the design of the zoom lens. And the longer you zoom, the worse it gets. So like the 12 to 200 is a very, very long lens. That's why it's easier to create a high quality tele zoom by actually making just the kind of tele portion of it, like say 40 to 150 or the 100 to 200. That kind of range is a lot easier than doing a super zoom like 12 to 200, because these are just trying to compress everything to one. You always have to give way one way or the other. But you know, in general, I think it's a really good performing lens, especially central sharpness. Actually, it's not too bad. And let's see what else you say now. And the size and weight, just swap. There's one thing more specialist lens, right? If you like tele lens, and that's the lens exactly what I was talking about earlier, you know. And if you want to do, you know, really like bird photography and things like that, I think the 40-150 f2.8 Pro is almost unavoidable, and you just get that lens. It's superb sharpness from end to end. And 40-150, even at 150, you will actually get the same sharpness, if not better, than your Nikon offerings. And it is a pro lens as well, which means it's fully weather sealed, which is completely well suited for or complement your EM5 Mark III, because it's weather seal system as well. Yeah, so it's actually really, really good. It's not exactly that much bigger or heavier than your APS-C offering either. It is bigger than your 12-200 because it's and also heavier because it's fully metal, and as also using a 2.8 aperture is constant as well, so it's really good. You may also want to consider using the MC14 as well. Unfortunately, you're not in the UK, you know, otherwise, you know, I would actually ask you to buy it now, because they are giving away the MC14 for free as we speak at the moment, and which actually is a very, very good. And yeah, Trevor is also rightly so saying that 12-100 is exceptional as well. Obviously, you do lose the 100 millimeters focal length. You know, it's 12-100, not 12-200. The 12-100 is really good as well. It's also got in-lens stabilization, so what you can work with the camera stabilization, so you get sync IS going on, so you get up to 6.5 stop on your EM5 Mark III, which is good for both video and your photos. Yeah, fantastic lens, and really easy to use, and also very customizable. The lens has got a custom LNL FN button on the side, so you could do all kinds of things. Got manual clutch, it's got everything with it. So it's got really good optics as well. Fantastic stuff. So yeah, it's garden bird photography kind of that I've been playing around with, and also starting to do a lot more filming a little bit in-house, and utilizing a lot of equipment that I'm supposed to test and review. So this is something you also have to look out for as well. I'm starting to go back to my video productions and for my YouTube channel, so hopefully in the next few weeks I'll starting to pump up proper new video rather than just live stream videos in my YouTube channel on every Sunday. Yeah, Wednesday I was going to continue doing my photography 101 live, because I think everyone seems to enjoy discussing things with me on a Wednesday afternoon, so I'm going to stick with that. But Sunday I'm going to have a full-blown proper episodes going back. I still can't film with Tracy, even though the lockdown may be eased in coming weeks, but because it's going to be difficult for me to meet with her while keeping the social distance, because we don't live in the same household. So it's going to be really difficult. But we shall see what happens, and yeah, never say never, right? Just to see. And also models, and I'm missing my models, because they're all my friends as well, like Zoha, Sali, all the others. I haven't seen them since the lockdown, so it's been 2.5 months now. And yeah, it would be good to meet all of them again, even like not shooting anything, just for a drink. You know, I kind of miss that. This is something I can't really imagine, that things are going to be back to normal very quickly. And you know, are we able to go back to like beaches like this? You know, that's another thing. You know, I love to go to beaches in the summer, maybe once or twice. You know, I'm not really a beachy person, but and my kids love it, of course, playing water with sand. And every now and then it will be quite good to go out there, maybe even fly my drones, and it's actually quite fun. But this is another thing I'm kind of missed, and probably won't be able to go, you know, this year at all. And also, like, what about bonfire? You know, like, you know, this is like a yearly thing, right? You know, it's like a religious thing, especially if you've got young family, got kids. You are just going to you know, see these things then. Oh, I just noticed Brad actually got one more exhale, and it's exactly my thought. Money's wait. I mean, oh, you are in the UK, right? Okay, Brad, message me directly. Okay, I'm gonna give you something personally, and then just email me, and then or direct message me. I will give you something to help you out a little bit. So I'm going to give you a big hint, and I'm not supposed to advertise it, and so you can directly ask me stuff. So let me know, because I think the current offer is actually very good, especially you got the free MC14, and it's a really good offer, I think, because usually you have to buy them as a kit, and that usually costs, I think, what, 1,250, 1,350, something like that sort of price, and yeah, it's not bad at all. And Trevor also say 40 to 150 is a good value compared to full frame 80 to 300. Yes, absolutely. I think it is a fantastic lens. That's why I love it so much. And even though, like I mentioned to a lot of you, saying that I am a prime guy, like I like to use prime lenses instead of zoom lenses, but 40 to 150 is the exception. This is something that give me a lot of flexibility and a lot of reach that I don't normally have when I'm out and about. And it's also quite a small, by comparison, it's quite a compact lens, so I will be able to fit into my shoulder bag easily, and it's not really kind of kill my shoulder and back if I'm going for a long hike and stuff like that. So I always have that lens with me, and it really is a proper construction, like really properly nice stuff. Don't tempt me, right? Okay, I'm not gonna tempt you, but I'm here for you. just message me. just don't tell your other half. Yeah. Okay. Right. And yeah, like I mentioned, I will be missing the time when I'm shooting with Zohar and all the others, and I'm really hoping things are going to get back to normal very soon, and it will be really, really good. And and right, Trevor also said, Trevor, you're so tempted as well. Okay, you too can also message me. I'm trying to help you out a little bit, and especially the 300 now comes with MC20. Olympus is trying to help each other, and then if you are in need of a really high quality tele lens, now you have a choice of between the 40 to 150 2.8 Pro or the 300 f4 Pro. Both of them will give you a free teleconverter. Of course, the 40 to 150 I mentioned already give you MC14 1.4 times converter, while the 300 will give you the MC20, which is a 2 times converter. And it's nuts, right? It gives you 600 millimeters equivalent of reach in micro four third, but listen, in full frame, it's double that. So what? That become 1,200 millimeters. That is right. It's really amazing stuff. I have used the 300 with the MC20. It was shockingly difficult to control, even with the Sync IS on. When I was doing the review for the MC20, if you go back to my YouTube channel, watch that video. It was really hard to shoot because even with all the IBIS on at maximum, and I still struggle to move and capture things. First of all, the angle of view, the field of view is so narrow. It's almost like a straight line when you're pointing. So like, I'm not really a professional bird photographer. If you're used to having a very narrow lens, and then you will be able to do something with it. But like for me, every time I'm trying to chase a bird, I lose the frame. Like as soon as it's gone out of the frame, I'm lost. I can't focus it. And because the bird movement is very irregular. They just like left and right and center is very, very difficult to follow. Once it moves out of the frame, I literally completely lost where it is, and I have to like take my eyes off my viewfinder and trying to see where the bird is and trying to re-aim again. But you lose a lot of time, you lose a lot of accuracy there. Yeah, that's why I find that 1200 millimeters equivalent is just super difficult to do. I think it's best suited for perhaps is a slightly more stationary object, like if you're doing wildlife, for instance. It's slightly more predictable. If you're photographing, let's say a cheetah running or panning, you'll be much easier to do that than a bird, in the air. There's such a vast space, and they're going for such a high speed as well. It's just really difficult. So I think a 300 is probably more manageable than a 600, which is 1200 equivalent full frame. And okay. Cool, right? Okay, so we'll DM. Yep, no problem, mate. Yeah, just send me a message, and hopefully I can hook you up. Right, no problem. And so what else I want to show you? And let's see. Another thing like this, of course, is this Christmas, right? I'm not joking. Yeah, we're now in May. It's only another half a year before Christmas, and if this social distancing continues, yeah, are we able to take the kids to Santa's grottos again? Probably not. You know, usually Christmas time, all these garden centers and everything is selling Christmas stuff are packed. You know, and it would be impossible this year to have like a normal Christmas. Yeah, it's gonna be weird. I'm struggling to imagine what is gonna happen then, and also like what about meeting friends? We already struggling meeting friends, and like these sort of big friends and family gathering will not exist, you know, and for the foreseeable future. You know, we may be able to see selected families because they want to control the crowds and stuff. You know, like you may be able to just meet one household at a time, so you're not gonna have like brothers and sisters, distant cousins and whatever all together in your house celebrate whatever. It's gonna be extremely weird. Yeah, I just can't imagine, but. One thing at a time, I guess, you know, like until a vaccine is properly in place, you know, it's going to be difficult. So hopefully while we're all in this together, so we keep whatever the government tells us, you know, hopefully we will stick with it and, you know, be healthy and be good. Hopefully the economy will eventually pick up. We are not going to have anything significant in terms of growth for the next at least a couple of years. We shall see what happens. We may even see like tax rises after everything is finished, because the government will need some money back after everything is, you know, back to normal. And well, like I said, as long as we're healthy, we know we've got a pair of hands, we know we've got a brain, you know, we can do something, we can work, and we can do something, we earn money and feed our kids, and that's most important, right? Okay, cool. Let's see what else are you guys saying. And right, and Brad also said, am I right that 40 to 152.8 with the MC is a constant f4? No, I think it's 3.5 if I remember correctly, and it's around about 3.5 aperture if you turn it to maximum. So it's not, well, it depends on whether it's actually too dark or not. I mean, if you shoot with the light, but in a gig, you know, like you probably don't need the MC14 unless you're standing quite far away from the subject. If you're relatively close, I don't think you need to use the MC14 because 300 millimeters is actually quite long. But I know that you got the 12 to 200, which is even longer than the 150. So you kind of have that comparison that you can kind of see how far you can reach. But it's okay, but the sharpness is actually great, and also even with MC14 at f3.5 is still quicker than your 12 to 200 for sure, because that is I think the 12 to 200 is 5.6 if I remember correctly, or 6.3 at the tail end. And so it would be interesting to see the results. Mo, good morning. Just let's see what you said here, and this will last until next year. Macros and garden will keep me busy. Yeah, I you know what? Yeah, I don't think you're wrong as well, and we shall see what happens. But I will be maybe taking my tele lens more, you know, to take some more birds, because I've got a lake just behind us, so I will be able to go around to take some more birds. And but then again, you know, there's how many birds you can capture, right? But I'll probably by the end of next year, I will be photographing every single bird in the lake, and that will be weird. Okay, that's cool. Let's see, Brad. Yep, even better. Oh, it's 6.3. Yeah, I kind of forgot which one, 5.6 or 6.3. I'd used so many lenses before. But you know, the 12 to 200 is a really great travel lens. You know, if you really just want to go and travel with just one lens, and you want to have the flexibility of going in, like punching in all the way, or having a wide shot, it's actually a very good option. Especially it's also weather sealed as well. It's a fantastic lens. Yeah, even though it may have a plastic construction, but it's the weight. So like it's definitely a travel lens. It's kind of aiming for that sort of market. And yeah, you know, when I reviewed it, I really liked that lens. I don't personally own it because I make money from it, so I need something slightly more flexible in terms of light gathering. So I need a faster and slightly more robust lens for my professional jobs, which is a lot easier. And good morning, Jason. Good morning, Jason. Hello. And so by buy a set of train. Mini Cephalic start doing portrait in lockdown. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I had the exact same thought about what you just talked about. You never know. And then I may do something. You may see that in my YouTube video very soon. So yeah, I won't tell you, but later. Okay, so how are we doing? So we are at 11:30. So this is towards the end of my live stream today, and but I also will tell you something, and right, I'm going to announcing pretty soon. But how you guys think of entering the very first photo competitions organized by myself? It's open to everybody to use your camera, especially Olympus gears, because there will be prizes. I'm working on sponsors, so hopefully there will be a really fantastic and fun competition. There will be different genre, you know, like there will going to be macro, portraits, wildlife, and everything. So it will be different categories, and at the end of it, there will be a photo of the year. So like, hopefully I'm going to run it as an annual thing. So like there'll be photo of the year, which means I'll pick the overall winner from all these categories, and that would be cool, right? So if you guys are up for it. And remember, and I'm going to be announcing soon, so stay tuned for both in here on my Facebook, on my Red 35 YouTube channel, and also my Red 35 photography Facebook page. You know, I'll be announcing that as well. So all on my social media. I'm gonna put up all the links there. So it will be fantastic, and I'm really hoping that all of you guys can join. And back to work. Okay, bye, Bo. So it will be good, and it will be fun. Like I said, you know, it's open to everybody, but because the prices most likely is going to be UK company, and the prices will be sent from the UK, so ideally you will be in the UK, and they're not going to cost me a bomb to just send them out. But even if you do send them, I will only be able to afford the postage, but not the import tax and duty. So you may have to bear that. So keep that in mind. But it's all for fun, and then I'm really hoping that all of you will have a good time while this lockdown continues. You know, you'll be able to do something, right? You know, utilize everything that you've learned so far, and hopefully, you know, we'll be able to go out and photograph something soon, and then you'll be able to utilize those images as well. So it's not going to be immediately. I'm still organizing it, so hopefully I'll make an announcement this week, and then the detail will follow the next week or two, and then the competition will start. I'm going to leave generous time so that you can, you know, take your time to take some photograph. There's no rush, and it's all free to enter. And I will be talking about images, and maybe over the course of on either the live stream or on my YouTube channel, but I'm not going to announce any winner until the specific time, because I am going to ask some other judges. Rather than just myself, I'm going to ask a panel of photographers who will be looking at your photograph. So I'm just trying to be impartial, right? You know, I can't just be, you know, be the person who's judging your photograph. So yeah, and I will try to be kind of a mediator. So the panel will be separate from the competitions, and I will be announcing of course all the category winners and also the overall winner at the end of it. So that will be all fun, and that will be all cool, and so this is awesome. I can't wait for this to happen, and this is something that I've been working on for the last couple of weeks, and hopefully reality is going to come, and this will be my very first organized competitions, and to allow you to enjoy your photography once again, and hopefully it will help you to kill some time off from this lockdown as well. So okay, so I'm gonna end this today, and hopefully you all gonna have a lovely week, and yes, see you guys tomorrow. Wednesday I'm gonna have my usual Red 35 Photography 101 live, and you'll be able to go there to ask me stuff. And this week's topic is slightly different to last week's. Last week I asked you your favorite lens. This week I'm going to ask you something else, but stay tuned for my Red 35 Photography YouTube community page. Head down there, and I'm going to have the link after this particular stream. You'll see the link there. You can click onto the YouTube channel. If you haven't already subscribed, you can go there and then go into community page and see what I'm about to announce for Wednesday's discussion. So then we can go and have fun once again. Last week seemed to be very popular. We talked about lenses a lot, so hopefully you're going to join in and talk about, you know, this week's subject. Okay, great stuff. So last chance, I'm going to show you one more picture. It's my lockdown picture, my family. So I'm going to see you guys tomorrow in my next stream. Okay, see you guys. Bye for now.